Hello everybody. At this time we are talking about data processing. Data processing occurs when data is collected and translated into usable information, usually performed by a data scientist or team of data scientists. It is important for data processing to be done correctly as not to negatively affect the end product or data output. Data processing starts with data in its raw form and converts it into a more readable format like graphs, documents, etc., giving it the form and context necessary to be interpreted by computers and utilized by employees throughout an organization. And then we move to stages of data processing. The data processing, especially data processing cycle, consists of series of steps where raw data is fed into a systems to produce actionable insights. Generally, there are several main steps in the data processing cycle. The first step, collection. The collection of raw data is the first step of the data processing cycle. The type of raw data collected has a huge impact on the output produced. Hence, raw data should be gathered from defined and accurate sources so that the subsequent findings are valid and usable. Raw data can include monetary figures, website cookies, profit or loss statements of a company, user behavior, etc. And then the second, preparation. Data preparation or data cleaning is the process of sorting and filtering the raw data to remove unnecessary and inaccurate data. Raw data is checked for efforts and errors, duplications, miscalculations, or missing data and transformed into a suitable form for further analysis and processing. This is done to ensure that only the highest quality data is fed into the processing unit. Third, input. In this step, the cleaned and prepared data is converted into a measured, readable format and entered into the processing system. This can involve data being input manually through a keyboard, scanned from physical documents, or imported from other digital sources such as databases. The input phase ensures that the data is properly structured and ready for the next stage of processing. And then fourth, data processing. In this step, the raw data is subjected to various of data processing methods using AI and machine learning algorithms to generate a desirable output. This step may vary slightly from process to process depending on the source of data being processed and the intended use of the output. Fifth, output. The data is transmitted and displayed to the user in a readable form such as graphs, tables, vectors, files, audio, video, document, etc. This output can be stored and further processed and in the next data processing cycle. And then 6. Storage. The last step of data processing cycle is storage, where data and metadata are stored for further use. This allows for quick access and retrieval of information whenever needed, and also allows it to be used directly as input in the next data processing cycle. And then we move to types of data processing. The first type, batch processing. With batch processing, data is collected and processed at predetermined times. Second, distributed processing. In this approach, data processing tasks are distributed across multiple interconnected systems to handle large demands such as the requirement of big data. Third, multiprocessing. In a multiprocessing or parallel processing approach, multiple CPU and process threads complete data tasks simultaneously rather than processing on a single CPU or process thread. And then fourth, real-time processing. In a real-time processing approach, data is collected and processed when received. And fifth, stream processing. Stream processing is sometimes used interchangeably with real-time processing. True, there is a difference between the terms. Stream processing includes data streaming, a continuous, high-speed data transfers process. And then we move to forms of processed data output. There are several forms of data storage forms. The first, simple text files. These are the most basic rules of processed data, and many of these files are user-friendly and straightforward to the interpret. These files require little further processing, and you can save them as text files that use little disk space. And then second, charts and graphs. Generating output as charts and graphs is a helpful feature now included in many software programs. This approach is beneficial when working with numbers that illustrate patterns, growth, or decline. There are many charts and graphs to choose from to meet different functions. Some customers or users also provide recommendation for specific data visualization graphics. You can also design and create a custom chart when there is an absence of a built-in graph or chart. And then third, spreadsheets. This is a commonly used format for numeric data. The user can execute various operations using digits in rows and columns. For instance, filtering and sorting data in a specific order can increase reader comprehension and make it easier for users to apply this information. Readers can also perform various mathematical tasks when using this file output. And then we move to the future of data processing. In line with the transformation of modern business, the future of data processing moves from server rooms to the cloud. The fundamental steps remain as outlined above, relying on organizations to collect clean and accurate data in order to generate valuable insights. But cloud computing will offer faster, more advanced, more efficient, and more cost effective results. I think it is enough. Thanks for watching.